we're going to work on some open source projects and improve upon them. Right now, we've got a list of about 2 of them for sure. I think I found a 3rd one that we could probably work on. But right now, we're doing this toolkit for YNAB, and I think we finished always show save. Last time we did reset settings back to default, and that PR actually got accepted and merged, so we did awesome there. If we wanted to see what that update was like, we could just turn on the production one. So if we if we turn on our production one, that'll just override the developer one. So like if you notice, this is the new version, and here's that setting we worked on last time. So that's public now, which is great. Let's get back to where we're at. Okay. So last time we did the oh, hold on a second. I think I forgot to do one thing to get us going. So I'm pretty new to streaming. Last time we had some issues with the mic. I learned it was the gain being way too high. Today it looks like the way I record audio on the desktop isn't working, so it's gonna be musicless. I'm listening to music, but you guys can listen to your own. However, whatever you guys like to do. Okay, so one of our PRs got merged. The reset settings back to default. What I'd like to do today is spend half the time continuing this by doing the next portion of it, which is disabling all settings at once so that you can see how YNAB is by itself without toolkit for YNAB. And the reason why is because there is a card on Trello that's asking us to do that. No, that was mine. Toggle on and off. Yeah, there we go. So here's our Trello feature board, and they'd like to be able to turn all the features on and off. And so what I'm thinking is on this advanced settings page we set up last time, we'll set up one of these on-off switches, and we'll turn it up, put one here, and what it'll say is we'll give them the option to enable disable all settings globally. And that would be an advanced setting. So half our time is going to be spent doing that. I'd like to spend the first half, though, working on this PR. So it's still open. And if, let's bring up some code. Got to open up my projects folder. Come on, projects. And it's a toolkit for YNAB, so we'll just open up code. The first thing we're going to do is build, just to make sure we have, and we're on the right branch here. So improvement always show save. We're on the right branch. And where you guys, I kind of did some work off screen. So there were some updates to master. I moved some content around. What else did I do? Let's see. I forget where it was. Should invoke always for toggle. Well, the work that I did was before when we had done our save, it was the save and cancel buttons were here. And so if you look at the PR, there was a complaint about that location because it made that bottom left side cluttered. So there was a bunch of suggestions. One suggestion was to make the button sticky in the lower right corner. Another one was let's see, to make the headers detach at the top. So what they were thinking is have the logo here, and then this is the menu, the page title. And so when you scroll, you get the header, but maybe they were trying to keep both. I didn't really like that. I came up to, there was another suggestion here, which is move the save cancels above this. But when you first load the page, it just looks weird. So I didn't like that either. The other suggestion, let's see. So I didn't want to do the headers, the fixed headers. But what I ended up going with is a sticky header. And so if you look at this now, so the save and cancels are right there at right next to the header. Seems like a lot of space up there. Let's see, page head row. I guess that's just how it is. That's a ton of space, just not utilized. I wonder why. It's a page inner. What do? You set up some margins that if I turn you off, don't really do much, but maybe that's okay. So the first 30 minutes, what we're going to do is we're going to clean up the code here. I'd like to clean up some of the styling as well, and then just get that working for us. Oh man, they had margin and padding. I don't know why. I'm gonna get rid of that margin and padding. So let's go look for page inner. Custom styles. Oh, what? Are we not ignoring? User settings, workspace settings. Oh, okay. Search exclude. I really wish I could check this in. Then I won't have to keep repeating this. But at the moment, that's not an option because I don't assume they're using code. So it looks like here they're making that happen. So I'd really like to get rid of this. Forgot to start a watch after that. But we'll clean up some of the styles, and we'll clean up there's a lot of boilerplate in here. Oh, I forgot to finish showing you guys. So now save and cancel is there, and as soon as you cross this threshold of the this thing, it'll snap down and follow us. And so now you can see this whole entire thing at any point, and you can save at any point. There's one CSS issue here. So now when I save, this like top banner kind of hovers it. I think I'm going to fix it by just making it the same size as general settings, and then it'll look at least good. But I'm really liking this. So you can go to each screen, and you can have that sort of stay in place, which is really cool to me. The report screens don't really have it because there's not a lot of settings there. Supports a static page as well. If you're not a developer, you could still help by working with cards. Okay. And this is our stuff. It looks like we lost the rule there as well, because we should have a space there. Advanced row. Advanced row. I should have been in there. Advanced settings page, advanced row. Oh, I see. It's because there's no longer directly underneath it. That's fine. That's another fix there. All right, so let's go to spend some time cleaning this up. User settings, inline, diff, render side by side, false. Oh, that's already done. Okay. All right, so a lot of this became cookie cutter, where it's using the same template essentially for this thing to work. So I'll show you what it looks like. So options.html. There's a lot of repeating boilerplate in here. One thing you'll notice, the first thing that you'll see is here there's some duplication. So for the general settings, I guess it doesn't say general. I guess it just says general, and then this says general settings. Okay, I guess there's some differentiation. We're not gonna automate that. But if you look at page wrapper here, so each one of these starts with the settings page, and then you see this page wrapper row and this content. And so the difference between the general settings and like account settings is they have a different title and they have a different icon. And so what I'm thinking of is we can leave this outer div and then just generate this inside content. I think that's doable. So we're gonna accomplish that by setting up some hidden div in here. We're gonna target it with JavaScript. We're gonna modify some settings, and then we're gonna append to the page. So let's get started. Maybe we'll put it up here. Div ID equals generic settings page, and then we'll throw all of these everything in here. And so we'll need to say this class is the page header icon. It's only going to be one, so let's give it an ID. All right, so we have the page header icon. We have a span in here that is the actual title. Maybe another ID, I guess. Page header. Let's make it a class. Page header title. What is this title actually doing? Oh, it's setting a weird. Okay, that should probably be EM. So it's saying for this H2, go ahead and give me 1 EM. I can deal with that. We'll change this to a class as well. Okay. All right, that's pretty generic. We're gonna say yes, we'll have save and cancel buttons. Maybe. We'll make that configurable too. So if it's not, if you don't say true, then it'll be not there. And that way we can still use the same thing for support and advanced settings, but they won't have save and cancels. And I don't know if I should throw in that version. We'll come back. Support is different. Support has this version number in there, which I think is weird. I think this version should be here, preferably next to that image. But I don't know why it's not. Yeah, it'd be nice if this version was here. That would make support the same as everything. But it's not, so we'll just work with what we got. All right, so left side, there's our generic template. And we're gonna say class hidden for sure. And let's check it out. So we can open options.js and we'll split it over. Let's refresh that page. Let's see, I think we have this running cell, so I just want to make sure we didn't break anything on the page. Okay. Everything's still the same. All right, down here, the last function they call is on ready page. So they call this build options page, and then they set up the settings. So let's say the first thing it does is instantiate page content, or yeah, page content, I guess. And so we'll make a new function. And let's see, so we got const pages is equal to an array of objects. pages. Oh, I'm a little worried. No, but that'll be fine. And so ID is equal to generic page settings. Okay. No, the ID is equal to general page settings. And general is going to be our test. So we're going to say the ID is that the icon class is this. The title is general settings. And we want to say show actions true. All right, so now we're gonna do just loop over everything. So for each page, we're going to say get me a copy of the generic settings page. Update the icon class, title, toggle actions, append to the ID'd section. All right. So we're probably going to do this one first and then this one. Okay, so let's give it a try. Give me a copy of it. So JQ consts generic page selector is equal to I hashtag. All right. So if I go generic page selector dot copy document dot query selector generic page selector dot clone inner HTML now. I have to go into that, so we'll just test it out, I guess. Console.log page is this page, and we want const generic settings page is equal to that. So we're gonna log this out to see what we got. Instantiate page content, so that will fire off. All right, so that's still building, but then we'll see like what we're getting back in terms of content. All right, so we do have that page coming back, and we've gotten this. I wonder if we can just paste it on. Oh yeah, I wanted to check to see if query selector was good for everything. So JavaScript document query selector. So we're just going to check and make sure that we're supported on most browsers at least. So Internet Explorer 8, so we're good. Basic support. I prefer to write just regular JavaScript instead of jQuery, but I'll use a small little bit to just test that. If I can use just regular JavaScript everywhere. All right, so the only thing we wanted to do was throw that onto the page, so we could say document.query selector, and then we can pass in the ID. So we can say page.id the inner HTML is equal to generic settings page that inner HTML. So what this is going to do is it's going to go out there, grab this generic settings page. It's going to go in here and just overwrite everything here. So what we'll lose is we'll lose the icon, we'll lose this title. And then I think we'll lose, I think that's it. So if that worked, we'll see the general settings just broken a little bit, which is fine because now we're going to add in the middle portions of it. So now we got the general settings page. So we should be able to get the icon class. So let's do that. So generic settings page dot query selector, and we're going to grab from the generic settings page. It's got this class. Let's change this. So we're going to say const selectors is equal to, all right, icon. Page content. The icon's going to be a class selector, so the page content's going to be this guy. Okay. What else do we need to be able to select? The title. It's going to be a class. So be sure to have that period there. And the last portion we need to be able to select is the actions, which is just straightforward. All right, so we should be able to get rid of that and say selectors.page content. Selectors.page content. All right, so query selector that, and then I should be able to say selectors.icon append class. How did I do this before? I think I had it in the JavaScript file. Okay, so JavaScript, we did a toggle class using jQuery, which would be here on the watch page. So we just said add class and remove class. So let's just look up the JavaScript way to do that. JavaScript add class. How to add? We want relatively newer stuff. Only class list. Is a read-only property returned to live? We don't want read-only. So it looks like we can just add and we can remove. So let's do that. That class list dot add, and we want to be able to add page.icon class. All right, so no one used semicolons. All right, so this is building. So this is another test. So we'll update the icon class. If this works, we'll see a little icon here again show up that should equal these cogs. All right, build finish. Refresh the page. Ooh, we got a big failed to execute add on DOM token list. The token provided contains HTML space characters which are not valid in tokens. Oh, all right, I understand you. How do we want to handle that? Do we want to leave it generic? So what we could do, one option is go back to our generic class here. Let's add a label here. So it is the generic page settings template. So we could cheat and we could say everything's an FA. And so then our icon class becomes just that we specify the specific icon we want, which could be decent. I mean, maybe we won't even need this page header icon then, because we can just target the FA. Right, that would work. I kind of like these like specific ones, but we can update these selectors as well. Let's just see what that looks like. So if we refresh the page, there's our cog. So let's do that. Let's get rid of this guy, and let's update the icon to be in the generic page settings. There will be an FA class, and that will give us the icon we want to target. So starting from here, there will be one icon class, and we'll target that. Well, we'll target the first one based on the query selector. So it's building. I think that should be okay. All right, so finished. Still there. So I guess we'll leave that. Okay, so let's do this again. And this time we want the text, the title, selector, the title, and let's put everything underneath this generic page settings for sure. Okay, same for those actions. Okay. So we want to select the title, so that'll get us here, and we want to set the text dot text element dot text. Let's see what this guy says. That's not what we want. Methods, text. Where are you coming from? Let's look it up again, I guess. JavaScript, set, text. Note that text content, that might be it. Represents the text content is node in descendants. Returns null if the element is a document, or next time differences from inner text. In Internet Explorer, the intention is similar, but with the following differences. The text content gets the element of all elements, including style, and inner does not. Alright, so I want to say set the text content. Okay, so that should be equal to page.title. That should get us there. I don't know why they use jQuery everywhere. I don't know if that's just what they're used to, or the extension says we can't use document very well, so we have to use jQuery, which has me a little nervous, but it's working locally, so I'm not sure. So let's see. Now we should have the title. There it is. And we're gonna say class hidden, so it wouldn't have the save. So now we can toggle the actions. So let's just start with that, and we want to say actions dot class list Okay, so by default it's on. So if page dot actions show actions classes that remove hidden, else that add, just to be safe. Okay. So So that's building. If this works, we can delete this thing. Oh, sorry, the meat of this div, and it'll be just empty a holder, and there'll be JavaScript in there to generate it now, since a lot of it's kind of cookie cutter. So that showed up, but let's say we wanted it to be false. I'm a little worried here as well because we didn't clone it. I assumed it is a copy, but if it's not, we'll just clone node deep, and they'll be. I mean, let's just do that now. That'll make me feel safer because then it's just cloning everything. All right. I don't know. What do you guys think about sort of this configurate this settings thing? So each one of these represents a page, but it's really just the content. Sorry, the boilerplate, and this content gets dynamically generated by some other JavaScript. So I figure generating this boilerplate is good. It's okay. We'll just have this configuration file, which instantiate page contents. Instantiate content screens. We'll have to come back for a different name for that. So let's see. If it's set to false, no buttons. So that's good. So that works. So we definitely want this though. And we can get rid of these logs. And we can start gutting things out. So we don't need this stuff anymore because it's all being handled by our cool guy over there. I wonder if I can just do that. That makes things very, very simple. And then we don't have duplication except here. So if I decide to change that tag, I'll have to change it someplace else. So let's fix that. Generic page settings template. Template selector. And I guess we'll just copy that. It feels weird. I wish I could just have it. All right, and I'm gonna get really template. I could use string interpolation. I probably should, but this just makes the copy paste a little easier, where I can just change that, and then I'm done. So I wish I could just say reference this from here, reference the page content variable. I forget how to do that, even if you can do that in JavaScript, but this for sure is just straightforward and easier. All right, so it's building. How's everyone doing? Doing well? Any feedback? What we could do better on this? Okay, moving on. So we got one of the pages done. So now we just need to essentially copy the template now, but in JavaScript. So less HTML typing. So the ID is account settings. The class is university. And we want to call it account settings. Right? And we want to get rid of all of that and just close it up. All right, next up. We want the budget settings screen. It's going to use the envelope O. It's going to be called budget screen settings. I guess I could just copy budget. And we can get rid of everything else. All right, reports, same setup. How we're doing on time? Oh, we're past the midway. Crap. So we got to start speeding up. So bar chart. And it's called reports. Reports screen settings. All right, and we can oh, we won't be able to do the same thing over there. That's gonna suck. All right. So ideally we could do the same setup, but I don't think we can because of this thing. So maybe that's the limit. That's where we'll stop at the report setting. So everything's the same. And we can't do it for here either, unless we decide to move this out, which I don't want to do. So we'll just stop there with some of that automatic generation for our template. And let's just test to make sure everything's still good. Inner HTML of null, great. And it's a loop, so it's going to be hard to figure out what. Yep. So let's figure it out. Inner HTML, where are we using that? Here. So let's figure out which one broke by just dissecting it. So we hope the general settings is still working. It might not because we close these divs differently, but I think it should still work. If we spend too much time here, we might not have enough time to do the other thing where we're gonna say disable all settings globally, which is okay. I mean, I'd rather get one thing completed well instead of completing two things. All right, so that one worked. Account settings. What are we missing? Budget settings page, report settings page. It's just weird. I wonder which one is complaining, which one's failing. Yeah, I don't know. All right, so there we go. First error. Cannot set property of null. So let's bring back our debug statements. What did we have? So console.log page. So we need that to make sure we're getting the right ID. And then maybe we'll log this one out too. Console.log, and then throw that up there. Let's just see what we're getting back with that query selector. And it's still gonna fail, but that's all right. I wonder where we messed up. This build time just takes forever. That's a common complaint. I keep making that complaint and doing nothing about it. Okay, so the second time it goes through, it says when I select that ID, it's null. And why is that the case? Because the first time it goes through, it finds it. The second time, it doesn't. What is the difference? I mean, the ID is there. Let's see, page, nope. Copy. Page is equal to that one like that. All right, so let's copy the document selector. Document selector, and we want to say, oh document query selector. We want to copy this account settings. I got no. Is it not liking that? I'm hoping it's these divs. Kind of sucks that we have to have a closed div and not be able to shortcut it like that, but if that's the case, I can live with that. All right, refresh. That was the case. Tried to restore select option but couldn't find element. Budget progress and bars. Ooh, maybe it's not doing it fast. Oh, okay, I know why. It's because we have these guys disabled, which we won't after this. So we can get rid of our logs now that we got that fixed. And if everything's good and we don't get any new errors on the page or warnings, I think that's it. We're going to call it. We're going to clean up our comments. We're going to make sure this gets a better name, but called first, like the first thing that happens when you build options page to instantiate page content. All right, build finish. All right, here we go. No new errors. Everything still works. I'm good with this. All right, so that all worked. And let's get rid of our comments. Gotta get rid of this duplication. Const last list equals, and then I can just say class list that remove, class list that add. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that, and get rid of that, and so we're good for each page. Okay. That should be good. We ended up not being able to use this really because we couldn't really move over support. Not if we were gonna... Yeah, because everything else we're just like blowing it away. That's what this inner HTML is doing. Saying, give me that divs inner HTML and just set it equal to the generic settings page HTML. Which works for everything except for support because that's handcrafted, and advanced settings because it's not dynamically being made. Although it could be. But let's check in what we got. So the CSS, fix that rule. All right, so we fixed that rule, and we changed that so the margin's back in. So that's good. Options HTML, generic page settings. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, look how much code we just removed. We probably added that much in JavaScript, but it's at least when I go to change some things, I can do it all in one place, and they'll use the same template, as opposed to trying to change the template in 4 different areas. Oh yeah, we got to rename that. Options.js. Let's come up with a better name than instantiate page content. What do we want to call it? Initialize setting pages. Initialize setting pages. Is that what we're going to call it? I guess so. All right, let's check that. Initialize paging settings. Yep, adding that. Custom styles. I did comment that out. Maybe we want to not do that. I don't know. It seemed very spaced out, and I think this was decent enough. All right. This will dynamically create the settings pages using a template. Removes the cookie, removes the boilerplate, and uses a reusable template. All right, so that's one. Gonna push that up there. That's one thing. Can we still save? So the next thing is, when we go up here, we should fix that thing to be the same size as us. So what do we need? Settings saved. So that's what it looks like. It comes up, it displays. We could make this just as big. So if we go in here, we look at what's in there. So it looks like it's a div with some text. If you make the height, what is it, like 3 EM? No. $6 AM? That seems very large. Just for like a notification saying I saved to hide, or like sticky header. Seems very weird. Very weird, but that's what it looks like normally, I think. That's what it looks like normally. So it looks weird being there. What could we do? We could make it appear at the bottom, but that seems out of the way. We could... I still like the idea of just making it just as big, but maybe we only do that when that's showing. So let's figure that out. So what does it do? So options.js has this thing called watch scroll for page header, and then on scroll, if it's bigger than the height, it goes in the page selector and adds the preferred class. So if we say that, could we add that same class to that success message? So let's see, if we go options.css and look for fixed header, we do a bunch of stuff. So we need to make that rule tighter if we're going to reuse that class. So here we go. Fixed header. Page selector, page header. Add classes, page header, and okay, so this is how we fix it. Right? That means if both the rules are there, or actually this means if both the rules are there. So page header and fixed header. Then we do all this. We want to do something to this. Where are you? Setting save. We want to do something to that. So maybe we'll be able to do that same thing. So here, const success selector equals, I think that was an ID. Preferred class. success selector. All right, so now we can look for we can look for settings saved and see what they do. All right, so we can copy this and say height 6 em, and we want fixed the class fixed header. So it's gonna be normal when the header isn't fixed, but when the header is fixed, it's gonna be a taller version of itself. And that might look a little weird with the text still being at the top, so we might have to change up the padding as well. So let's check it out. So like here we go, we're hitting save and it's good. And then we hit save again, get a big bar. All right. So let's fix this thing. So here we're gonna say margin or padding top 2 em, 3 em, 2 em, 2.5 em. Close tabs to the right. CSS vertical align. That's what we really want to do. Okay, that's good, I guess. Vertical align middle. That's what we want. Is that supported everywhere, you think? It says IE 4+, so that's good. That's what we want. So in our rule, we just say, give that height and vertical line. That'll give us a big fat bar, but a small bar when it goes up there. Let's do a transition height. Oh my god, 0.25 seconds and linear transition. All right, I'm gonna actually group this with the other page header settings because that seems, sorry, the other fixed header setting, because that seems like that way I can see the transitions straightforward. So now whenever the height change is gonna do a linear transition between the new height and the old height, which will make it look nicer, but I'm not sure about this transition time. Let's see how it goes. So let's get rid of this guy, turn him on. Transition seems very fast. Alert, no. There we go, fixed header. Fixed header. Maybe it doesn't have a transition when you go backwards, and that's the issue. So, I mean, let's see. 0.5 probably is a smoother one. I'm okay with that. It's not going to always stay on the page, I think. So transition. Why doesn't it like that? Because I have it somewhere else, you think? It should. I don't know. Weird. All right, so that fixes some things. Let's refresh the page again. So I hit save, and then there's my big fat header. Save again. Ooh, there's no vertical line. Did you notice that? That vertical line should have done something, right? Vertical line text in div. Definitely only want the latest stuff. Vertical line, vertical line. Vertical line specifies the vertical alignment of an inline or table cell box. An inline or table cell box. So you can't do it on text. It can be used in two contexts. We want middle for sure. Initial value, percentages, syntax, baseline, text top. Aligns the bottom of the element with the bottom of the parent's font. Middle. Centering text and div vertically. For sure, that's what we're looking for. I've tried middle. Alright, so use line height for vertical aligning of your text. Okay. So we should be able to say line height. Let's put that back. All right, so line height, and we want line height. What do you want? Why did he say line height then? Or flex box, display flex and align center. Less common way but still correct way. I don't want to do that. So if we do display flex and align item center, that's not what I want. Align item center. And then let's see, flex align center. I think there's two axes for flex. All right. So we did align items, but what's the other one? So justify content probably. Justify content center. That is so much better. All right, so here, if we don't want that, we want that. So now that'd be nice and centered. I wonder what, I guess you got rid of text centered when we switched over to display flex. I don't know. All right, it's going. Refresh the page. So here we go. Save. Nice. All right, so here we go. Make the success banner thicker when we have sticky headers. You know what? I'm gonna change that class from fixed header to sticky header, and that will be a little better to me. To hide overlap with sticky header. All right, so let's go here. Not that. We want to go to this thing, and we want to give it a sticky header, not fixed header. Sticky header class, and we're gonna say fixed header is now sticky. Fixed header. It's now sticky header. More representative of what it is. All right, so we save that and that, and we'll look at the difference. So we changed from fixed header to sticky header. Sticky header. Sticky header, nice. All right, let's push it up. Refresh that page, make sure nothing broke, but I don't think it did. All right, so we're coming to the top of the hour. I'm gonna wrap this up. Gonna update our PR saying, hey, we did some things, and we're gonna request a review again. And then after this, I'm probably gonna go watch another Twitch stream, there's this cool one called Twitch Driven Development, and they're building a workout app from scratch using the latest Create React app. I've been helping them out a little bit, so I might go back and pick up where they're at and see how they're doing. So I think we're good. This is a completed PR, so close steps to the right. All right, let's see our new stuff. So here we go. Dynamically great the settings. That's awesome. All right, have you guys noticed this? Like the sticky headers over here, that would be awesome if I could do that same exact thing on the other side, but they're probably using jQuery waypoints to do that. And this isn't default by GitHub. You get this through an extension that I've recently came across called Refined GitHub, and it's got a bunch of like opinionated settings that it's thrown up there that I like. It'd be cool if you could toggle off the settings, but I understand it's easier to just have them on. So that's good. Yeah, look at this generic page. No longer is it generic settings, but it is, yeah, generic page settings template. I like it. Get rid of the boilerplate. And we added a bunch of boilerplate over here, but in terms of objects, and this code is always the same. So we're good. All right, that change that was good. And make this exact spanner thicker when we have sticky headers. So we just went from fixed to sticky. And we handled it just by changing one variable. Fix the sticky. And we're good. All right, so updated. Use JS to dynamically create the pages that had boilerplate like tags for styling. Now it's defined in an object and dynamically created when options page, what is it called? When build options page is called. Temporarily fix the header success banner overlap by making it thicker to hide the sticky header. That way it still looks reasonable. All right. All right, so we've pushed it off to them. This is the end. I am not doing any more work on that. If they want more changes on it, they will have to do that themselves. And we're done. So we can go ahead and, I wish there was an archive, but we'll just delete it. And next time we'll do the toggle on and off settings of all features. All right, guys, we did super awesome. We got our PR fixed, good to go. And next time I guess we'll keep working with Toolkit for YNAB. I really haven't been playing a lot of Stardew Valley. I got Odyssey and Assassin's Creed Origins on Friday, so I've been doing a lot of that. But I might come back to Stardew Valley. I kind of like knowing what I need to do. Am I a contributor? Oh, nice. You previously, yeah, I have. Okay. Let's take a look at these guys. So they've got 2 pull requests, save cancel, add daily spending allowance calculator. Crazy gentleman. Oh. See how big this guy is. So far it's got 22 conversations. New feature. I always wanted this feature for YNAB, so I decided. This is back in March 8th. Jesus. When's the last time we did something? April 12th? That is way too old. Daily spending allowance calculator. All right. I guess I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. All right. We're going to call it a night. It was good hanging out with you guys again. We did a little bit of pair programming. Next time, feel free to like chime in and see. Just tell me what I'm doing wrong or how you would do things, and we'll just integrate our different style patterns. It's pair programming, right? All right. Enjoy the evening, guys.